Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pops and Hisses, a music podcast where you hear from the artists you love. I'm your host, Kevin Coffey, and in this episode, I sat down with Matt Focht and Crystal Hartford of the band Hartford Focht. You might know Matt from the indie rock band Head of Femur, and he met his wife Crystal in Chicago while in that band. They started singing together right away, but it took until this year for them to release their first album. I first heard the duo at a Conor Oberst concert a few years ago in Omaha. Matt and Crystal opened the show, and I loved what I heard, and I am happy to say their album captures the vibe I heard that night. I sat down with the couple recently and their daughter to talk about the new record, how they picked the cover songs that are on it, and talked all the way back about how they first got together and first started making music together. Real quick, I want to remind you that you can listen to Pops and Hisses podcast and find music news, reviews, and interviews at popsandhisses.com. But right now, it's time for Crystal and Matt of Hartford Focht. Let's get into it. So what have you guys been doing this last year?
So we've been working on the record for what, 2 years?
2 years and change.
Okay.
At Adam Roberts' him and his dad built a studio out of their garages.
Okay.
Over by, it's actually really close to ARC, the other studio, kind of in the backyard. We've been working on that on and off, between childcare and work. And we've just been at home a lot.
Yeah.
Like anyone.
Same here.
I work at La Bouvette, and they opened in August, so I went back there. And Crystal works half from home and half at Film Streams.
Okay.
And they're not really open yet. They're just doing private rentals.
Yeah. Which has been fun.
Yeah.
Have the whole movie theater to yourself.
I've thought about doing that just to go see a movie and feel comfortable without having other people around.
Well, let me know.
Yeah.
It's pretty affordable too. So.
Yeah.
I started a band with a friend over COVID, like a friend that's been in my bubble. We got tested. He moved back to Omaha.
From New York City.
Yeah. We have this band called The Breakers that it's like he sings and plays guitar and I play drums. So we've been doing that. We're about to record soon at ARC. So that'll be fun.
Oh, that's cool. Who's that?
His name is Chris Yamber. He grew up here like I did. We went to school together, and then he left. He made a couple of tapes in the 90s for Simon Joyner and Chris Deaton's Sing Unix label.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Yeah.
That's kind of his only thing that anyone around here would know about, maybe. But they'd have to be like in their 40s to know about it.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. And Crystal and I are trying to get back into it, we're going to try to do some internet shows, I guess you could say, like something.
Like streaming stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like Instagram shows,
like
or
live.
Maybe Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We need to start playing again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
I'm what I call a very bad guitar player, but I know enough to have fun with it. But I'm not used to playing shows, but I'm used to going to shows. So it's really weird to not be at concerts like with a bunch of people and like feel that kind of thing. And I can't imagine what it's like to play concerts your entire life and then just be like, I haven't been on stage. I've played with everybody in forever.
Yeah.
There's a definite yearning for it.
Yeah.
Not right away, but sometime over the late summers when it started hitting me, I was like, oh man.
I'm sure a certain amount of a break was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. At first it was like,
the isolation was cool at first. Cool. Got a lot done around the house.
Yeah. Same.
Right? Painting and
we painted this room.
Projects and
all that stuff that had been kind of sitting on that list of stuff to do. I got done in by May, because I hadn't, like I said, I don't play a lot of shows, but I usually go to 2 or 3 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was home all the time. And I used to pick up the occasional bartending shift and stuff, and that wasn't happening.
Yeah, where did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I did it in places around town, or would do like the College World Series, for
Yeah.
very intense couple weeks. And then for the last like couple years, I'd been doing it in Plattsmouth, Nebraska, where my wife is from, just at
Oh,
a
cool.
uh,
Well, that would be
you know,
fun.
small town bar, which is fun and laid back. It's a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
place.
Yeah, those are
Like my favorite.
Yeah.
small town bars. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, since March, I've bartended since I was like, I think just after I turned 21, and the first time I haven't done it in forever. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way weird.
It's too late though. It's like 3:00 in the morning it's rougher.
Oh, yeah. He
Oh,
used to
man, it
close
hits
at
hard.
a Weaver's, and it was like so late he would get home.
Yeah, we moved back here like 5 years ago, and
Mhm.
I was working, wherever I could get
Work. Yeah.
work. Yeah, it was pretty late.
Yeah, those 2 a.m. bar close was a great idea in Omaha, unless you were working it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Older
right.
people working it.
Really?
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
So you worked on the record a lot like last year, right? And then kind of finished up at ARC. Was that how it went?
We had one full day at ARC.
Yeah, one full day in
I think it was 2 years ago.
19. Yeah.
It just popped up on my memories.
Because we had 2 more songs that we wanted to add. We had 8 songs, and we were like, let's make it 10.
Let's make it an even 10.
And Adam is the studio manager over there.
Yeah.
So he had some free time that he had personally, and he just gave it to us, which is very nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we got Mogus to play some string stuff on there too, which really added to the record.
Yeah.
He did like pedal steel and mandolin and 12-string electric, and it was great to have him on there, to be back playing with him a little bit. We didn't play with him per se, but he played with us. Him and I used to play in Opium Taylor years ago.
Oh yeah, right.
When we were in the dorms. So it was nice to have him on the record a little bit, and we just kind of worked on it whenever we could get over there, whenever Adam had time, whenever we had time, and felt good to finish.
Yeah, because you guys have been working on this for a while, so
we worked on it for a while, yeah, and we weren't sure what we were going to do with it. Like at the end, I just wanted to get it done and out. But now, the guy Alec at the label, there's a little label in North Carolina. He is talking about maybe doing some vinyl, which would be great if it was
cool.
If it wasn't very many, because locally, all my friends and acquaintances, and it's getting good reception, like better than I thought. I just thought that it'd be just like, oh, there's Matt and Crystal's little project, and they finally put it out.
Yeah.
Isn't it cute and nice? But it's getting nice. I'm getting a lot of people coming to me, writing me, telling me that they love it. So it feels really good, to my surprise for some reason.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We feel good about it. I mean, I think that it's making us maybe want to take it a little more seriously, this project.
Yeah. Well, funny when it's something that you're just like, this little thing we're doing.
Yeah.
I guess there's just this, you don't want to ever like expect anything really, you don't want to,
You don't want to get your hopes too high.
Exactly.
I think it's like a music band, being in a band thing.
Yeah.
Shouldn't ever get your hopes too high, because there's so many letdowns in it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when you get older doing it, you're just like, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I've had this conversation with 2 different people recently.
Yeah.
Like the thing you never thought would be a big deal ends up becoming people get really excited about, when it's the thing you pour your heart and soul into, and you're like, this is going to be the big one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. Like I was talking to a guy.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic music.
That's not to say that we didn't like, this has been, we've been together as a band since 2014.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we had a band in Chicago, the same, just a different group of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, it's definitely something that we've been working on. But yeah, it's just, the reception's been really nice,
Oh,
yeah.
Especially when you live in a city that is everyone, not only does everyone have a band, but they're all really good. We listen to our friends' music and it's just this is insane. I can't believe this is just people casually walking around in the city making this music.
And they're all 15 years younger than us.
Him.
I had a friend who moved to Omaha, and we would hang out at a place, and he'd be like, "Oh my God, that's that person from that band, and that person from that band," and he just thought oh, maybe they recorded it here, or people didn't actually live here. I'm like, no, they're all real people, and yes, they're everybody knows each other, and it's all really cool and casual, and yes, everyone's that talented.
Which is so funny, yeah. It's I don't know. It's pretty great. So it's nice that people are choosing to listen to our record amongst all the records.
Yeah.
We're in there too.
We're in there somehow.
So that's exciting.
Well, it's great. I love the record. It's really fun.
Thank you.
Both the originals and the covers. And that was one of the things I was going to ask about is how did you pick some of those cover songs? There were some really interesting ones in there to me, but they all kind of fit the vibe of the originals too. It all meshed well together, even to the point where some of those, if you didn't recognize they were songs by other people, you wouldn't have any idea that they weren't your songs. They just meshed so well.
Cool. That's awesome. That's so good to hear.
We've played them for a while, those songs. And we would just pick them weirdly. We'd just be listening to records in the garage in the summer, and after you listen to this record or this song maybe 10 times because you're into it, you think this would be fun one to try to actually play it.
That's how the Al Cooper one I think came around.
Yeah, the Please Not One More Time. It's on a Roger McGuinn solo record.
Yeah.
Oddly.
Matt would listen to this record. It's fantastic. Which record is it?
It's called Peace on You.
Okay.
Weird name.
Check it out.
1975 Roger McGuinn. And he covered it. So it's just these songs just been covered, recycled down the line.
But Matt would listen to that record so much that I would be like, "Oh, you're listening to your boyfriend again?" And we just had this ongoing joke about Roger McGuinn being his boyfriend, and he's like, "Yes."
Got really into Roger McGuinn in the garage.
And
we have a record player in the garage.
Yeah.
As one does.
Yeah. Mine is right there. I come down.
Yeah.
It's right behind me, off camera.
That one we brought that one to the band, and they were just like,
"Oh yeah,
that's interesting." And that piano and drum marry so well.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
And it just became this they were all like, "Okay, this oddly fits, but it's weird. It's not like the folk rock shit that you usually play."
Yeah.
But it fits weirdly.
Yeah, that one was super fun. With the Laura Nero song with Stony End, So when we first got together as a couple, Matt had this Stone Ponies. It's like a Ronstadt Stony
greatest
Ponies
hits collection record thing.
Stone Ponies
called Different Drum, and
it's fantastic. She, she's like the queen of covers. She's incredible. And she covers Laura Nero, and I was like, what is this song? What is this? And we just from there just kind of spiraled into this whole Laura Nero thing, and she's incredible. The band was learning Stony End, and they're like, how many chords can she use in one song? This is is amazing. So that was a huge discovery I know me personally, was her music is just incredible. And then you realize that she wrote Bill, I love you so I always will.
Yeah.
Which I always remember being in My Girl.
Yeah.
She's like a hidden gem.
And she wrote Eli's Coming, and she's just
tons of songs, because like the Stony End version I know is the Barbara Streisand one.
See, and I didn't know about that one until
Yeah.
like way later, and I was like, holy crap, even Babs covered her, you know? Like,
Laura Nero's like a musician's musician.
oh man.
Mhm.
When you read those music books, but the autobiographies or whatever, she comes up, you know.
Oh yeah, one of those people that everybody mentions because everybody knew them or used their music, or
Exactly.
Yeah, but not the lay person would be less likely to ever bring up her name.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So she's been a huge discovery for me personally. So then we tried to like, there's certain fun things about Linda's version that we kind of wanted to bring in, and then
we tried to mesh.
Original version is so
together.
Rad, so we were trying to kind of like mesh them, but then also kind of make it our own. So that was super fun. What else is on there?
There's another bird song,
Bugler,
that they didn't write.
Bugler. Yeah.
Bugler, yeah.
Bugler is like the saddest song because it's about a dog dying, and it's like this.
Super sad.
I don't think any people. It takes people a while to like realize it, but it's like.
Well, it's such a kind of like upbeat, kind of rambling birds. Like I said, the birds. That version, it's kind of song you don't recognize. You're like, oh no.
Oh my God, he died. But that one definitely I feel like sounds like an original.
Mm-hmm. And then Willin, of course, we had a band version of that on there that we thought was pretty good, but then the guy at the label, Alec, was like, you know, I've heard this live version of you guys doing it on YouTube for some.
There's our cat.
In some obscure Chicago live taping show.
This place called DZ Records.
And so he's like really pushed just to use that stripped down version. We had the regular band version from Adam's recording. So that was kind of a hard decision to make.
Yeah.
But I think we're happy with it now.
Yeah, totally. I've always loved that recording.
We haven't seen the band because of COVID, so we'll see how they feel about it.
Here, guys, here's the record. Sorry, no.
Sorry about that part.
It was kind of a last minute switch too. So
they're a great band, by the way. You should know that. These guys in Lincoln, they did so well. It's like Ben and Mike from Head of Femur, and then this guy Daryl on bass. He plays a fretless bass.
Daryl Rivers.
He's awesome.
Best.
He's a Lincoln guy, and then Ben's dad plays keyboards.
Oh, that's cool.
Rodney Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking forward to going down to Lincoln and jamming with those guys again soon. I don't know when that's going to be, but
right.
Yeah.
So
sucks. You put a record out and you can't celebrate this record with your band or with anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
that's been so many people I've talked to lately. They're like, well, yeah, I'm just at home. It's like release day.
I think we'll make some fancy dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll pick up some bubbly from the store.
Yeah, right. Have an extra glass of wine tonight, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's be real. But yeah, I think we're gonna jazz up our 2 to 3 person show and try to do some online performances. And I don't know, I saw that Slowdown is doing some live stream shows.
Yeah, those have been cool, and they've hired the full live sound to do them, so they sound really cool.
Yeah,
I mean, like I watched, especially as the summer, like you were talking about, Matt, just like missing live shows. I was doing a lot of like watching live streaming, and I've had so much fun watching people in their living room with a guitar, or, playing from their practice studio. They've all been great. I kind of some part of me loves the just like, hey, we're playing in our garage sort of thing, because it just feels more fun and intimate and laid back. And
you would never get to see that
right
in real life, like
it's really impressive. So. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of musicians out there that made it cool, that like they were smart enough to be able to do stuff like that, and they like made it cool and interesting, and kudos to them for being able to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
takes a hidden talent to do that.
Yeah. And like, I love it too. Cause like, if you have a lot of know how to do it, great. If you just set up a phone and like play a guitar with your camera phone, your smartphone facing you, like that works too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Like a lot of people, I guess, a lot of people just use Instagram just for them in the car, you know, lots of that.
Yeah, I saw like Jeff Tweedy just like looks kind of bad, but he just turns his phone like vertical and just streams it on Instagram. But it's great, like because it's him, so it's just like he plays shows. Yeah,
yeah, he looks a little different these days.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's been enjoying the quarantine life, I think.
Yeah,
haven't we all?
Yeah, right.
Does Wilco have a new record right now?
They had, yes.
A couple months though, right?
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It came out last year, and like everybody, I think they made it before before everything, and then now they're just like, well, we're at home. We did tour.
They didn't tour, right?
Yeah.
Glenn Cochi puts cool stuff on Instagram of him playing drums, and then he writes out the part.
Oh, does he? That's cool.
Yeah, I've been watching that because his drum set is crazy.
Yeah, well, that's like good.
That's one of the last shows I think I went to before big shows was at the Orpheum.
Yeah,
yeah,
so it was amazing.
It was so good. That was so good.
Oh yeah, you saw it in Omaha.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys were talking about the band, but you guys also had like Arenda and Christine were on the record too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Sadly, they both moved. So.
I know.
But I mean, they're some of our best friends, anyways. But since Matt was drumming in High Up too, so when we originally recorded that. This is Maria, by the way.
Hey.
When we originally recorded, when we played Stony End in the past, Matt and Daryl would sing backing vocals, and then we realized Matt one day was like, "Why don't we just have women background vocalists?" It just makes sense.
Yeah. I want to do a lot more of that in the future.
That was rad. That they made that song for me, like
having people that good sing backup. That's great.
Oh my god, I was like, I think they're like too good.
Have you ever checked out like Bob Dylan's like gospel records?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of. I want that kind of backup singing. Is like.
Can you be quiet?
Been flooring me. That he had like 4 or 5 women singing, and they were singing so much. Like
you guys were singing together before, but did you meet like playing in bands and stuff, or did you meet before that and then started playing together, singing together later?
We were both from here, but we met in Chicago through a mutual friend.
My exes go.
Yeah.
I don't know, baby.
Mike Elsner from Head of Femur was working with Crystal at a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I went in to visit him.
And I was like, "You're from Nebraska? I'm from Nebraska."
Yeah.
And so we met in 2005, but then didn't start dating until 2010. And then
when we started dating, we just we were like, why wouldn't we be singing together? Let's try this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then finally got something together by 14.
By 14,
and then
yeah.
Played some pretty cool shows in Chicago at the Hideout and Hungry Brain and Coles and
different places. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a really great band there too. So a lot of people helped us form the songs, you know.
Yeah. It's so much more fun to have a band than to just be a duo.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Some people would rather just be two. But for us, it was always more fun, like more of a party to have it.
We're always just like, we're so lucky that we have like super talented friends. Like,
mm-hmm.
You know.
We are lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
one of the questions I wanted to ask was, how does it feel now to have the record? Does it feel like 10 years in the making? We have this thing.
Kind of, yeah.
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 Looking back, you know.
Yeah, every time I see Adam, he's just like, man, I can't believe we're done. Finally, we're done. Because we felt like we were being done for 3 or 4 months. Like, are we done yet? No, there's this one more thing. No, there's this one more thing.
We even like, oh God, it was like a week before we released the record. We went back and we recorded the vocals for Changing of the Days.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't like them very much, so we went back. So even like
no.
a week before the release, like we were back in the studio again.
Wow, it's so much easier to do that now.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of incredible, actually.
You don't have to like be in a studio and do a tape overdub and patch it all in and
Yeah, and now it's like boop boop.
Yeah.
Done.
The original idea was to have a studio in our basement, like a makeshift one, but that hasn't happened yet. We've got all the equipment. We've got a piano and all the drums and everything you'd need, but it's just, I'm not good with computers, and I haven't got there yet, but that would be cool to have our own little recording studio.
It's a lot to do. Like, I've just tried to set up just a small like vocal booth to do this, and like I do some voiceover stuff too. And it's man, it's hard. Like it's hard just to get everything set up in the space and to be like as soundproofed as you can make it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you really need time and money and the know-how. But that's why Omaha's great for all this, though. You have so much privacy. The houses are farther apart. You know, it's all so much more affordable.
The space is nice. That's for sure.
We were basically getting pushed out of our neighborhood in Chicago. I mean, we left on our own, but yeah, we were lucky though. There we had a house with a basement.
Oh, did you? Yeah, that's rare.
It was.
We were lucky.
But leave it to the people from Nebraska to be able to find that, because that's what those kind of people want.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, the basement was like caving in. There was dirt pouring in. Everything's so old, and the pipes and oh man, they're gonna just bulldoze those places soon.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like you were saying, affording a house in Omaha, it's not hard. And like, I feel like we don't have that big of a house, but I look at friends that live in other cities would pay for my home would pay 10 times as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
It's like, once you move back from being in big cities for so long, you wonder, like, why do these bands want to move away? They got it made at places like Omaha and Lincoln and whatever, Des Moines, Iowa City, Kansas City. They got it made. You can be a band so much easier in those places and leave and come back and afford everything.
Well, you look into differently, like 20, probably more than 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there wasn't the infrastructure for all that stuff. I mean, especially in Omaha, there were recording studios, but it was different and expensive, and everybody couldn't just do it on a laptop.
Well, that's a good point. You know,
that's true. I
guess if they wanted to record all the time, they'd have to be somewhere else, right?
Yeah, but like now you do it from anywhere, and like you said, it's cheaper. If you're gonna especially if you have a bigger label, it's going to help you out. Your money's going to go a lot further here than it would in a number of places. Yeah,
it's and I would understand why somebody like the Faint would stay in Omaha as long as they did. Just like bands that were on that level, you know. They could buy warehouses to put the video installations in, and
right. Man, that's funny.
You know, we'd like to someday start a restaurant/venue.
Yeah.
Because we're foodies people and restaurant. You know, I work at the restaurant. Be a cool idea. I know Simon had the same idea to do a sort of a restaurant venue.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll ever do it, or it's just weird right now, obviously. But. Yeah,
right now it's weird, but I feel like Omaha's the place to do that. People would be totally open to that. Between food and music, like no brainer. Seems like.
Yeah.
So yeah, like going forward, you guys have, I know it's like everything's up in the air. Any plans other than the live stream stuff? I mean, maybe that's all you can do.
Well, we've talked to Alec Farrell at the label, and he lives in Durham, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Him and I were in that band, the Holy Ghost, together, if you remember those guys.
Right on, yeah.
He has agreed and wants to tour with us as a multi-instrumentalist, mainly guitar. But I think that if we can work things out with our daughter and stuff, we could do like 2 weeks on the road for this record.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Whenever that time comes about. Sucks that we got rid of our van, but we kind of had to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a loose plan right now. Yeah. We'd like to do the East Coast for 2 weeks with him and get some more people on board. I don't know that we could get the Lincoln band because they're pretty tied down to their jobs and kids and stuff. We might be able to get some of them, but if we kind of form a new band, I think we could get 2 or 3 weeks out on the road, and
right.
It'd be great. Maybe get this thing on vinyl and possibly CD, some stuff to sell. We have T-shirts already.
Awesome.
But I think that'd be really fun for us because we love to travel. So
yeah.
And we haven't been anywhere in so long.
Yeah. The other plan is to write some more of our original stuff,
mm-hmm.
and find some new covers. And I think maybe getting another record sooner than later would be good for us. Would be
right. And now might be the time to do it too.
Yeah.
That's true. Actually.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And then I think some videos on the horizon too.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
So enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Bye.
See ya. Thanks for listening to my conversation with Matt and Crystal from Hartford Focht. Subscribe to Pops and Hisses on your favorite podcast app, or head to popsandhisses.com where you can listen to the podcast and find more music news, reviews, and interviews and podcast episodes. I'm your host, Kevin Coffey, and you can follow me on Twitter as @OmahaMusicGuy, or find my page on Facebook by searching Kevin Coffey. My last name spelled Coffey, by the way. Thanks to Hurrdat Media for producing the show, and I encourage you to check out Hurrdat's network of podcasts, such as Hollywood Raw if you're into entertainment, The Schick and Nick Show if you're into sports, Meathead Test Kitchen, where they talk about food and fitness, or Drunkonomics for drinking and, well, economics. Find them all and lots more at hurrdatmedia.com/network. That's HURRDAT media.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
A Hurrdat Media Production.